average maturity of cash flow. One thing I'm going to mention, but I'm not going to do it in this class. I'll do it in my Excel workshop. By the way, that starts next Tuesday at 12:30 in this room. As soon as I do it, you're going to say, you're making all the calculations that are necessary to calculate the value of the bond. So why don't you use it? And yes, we will do that. In fact, in that workshop, I'm going to combine all of this into a so-called vector valued function. It's going to calculate three things at the same time: value of the bond, Macaulay duration, and financial duration. And there's a way you can enter a vector valued function or array valued function into Excel. You just enter one thing in 3 cells in a row, it just gives you all of those. But for now, we'll be a little bit uncivilized. You know, this is more like, 19th century than 21st, but hey, it's not medieval times. And it was horrible in medieval times. Think about the 13th and 14th centuries. In Europe, you had the Black Plague. In Middle East and Asia, you had the Genghis Khan and his Mongol hordes. I mean, yes, they were a big empire. It is estimated that from about 1200 to 1300, they killed more than 5% of the Earth's population at the time, Earth's known population at the time. The only thing that saved the American Indians were the ocean. They didn't know about them. If they did, they would have. No. All right. So what do I need? I need the cash flows. Obviously, I know how to calculate them. And I need how long that's going to take. And I need the present values of those. Since I have a lot of these calculations already in here, let me copy this too and modify my code. I still have to determine number of coupons, coupon amount, what have you. First, we check inputs for an error. We did fine. iCash is basically the coupon amount. P-rate is the period rate. iPres is present value of the face value. And all of that. The only thing missing is I can actually go into that loop and do my cross products. Because in this loop, I calculate the present value of the cash flow for that period. And if you look at the definition of Macaulay, you multiply that present value by how far ahead that period is. So I already calculated the damn thing. I might as well use it, right? So let's do the following. Let's create another placeholder. Let's call this dim iCross. And before I get in there, I'm gonna initialize it. iCross equals 0. And let's see. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna have one more thing. Dim. Let's call this P time. And it's double length of each period. in J time is double. Again, I like declaring my local variables. It is not a requirement, but it's my programming style. So let's calculate P time. It's the length in years, which was given to us as I time, right? Divided by I frec. So if it's a semi-annual bond, 30 years, actually, no. It's just 1 over I frec. If it's a semi-annual, I frec is 2, so that's 0.5. If it's quarterly, that's 0.25, and so on. So I'm basically measuring the length of each period in years. That's what P time is. And I'm going to calculate within this loop J time as P time times J count. If I'm dealing with the 4th period and it's a semi-annual, J time is going to be 2. That's going to be 2. If it's quarterly, J time is going to be 1. Because each of them are a quarter. 4 times a quarter is 1. And all I have to do is take I cross plus J time times I pres. No, J pres. Remember, J pres holds the value, present value of just that cash flow. And J time is how much in future that time period is. Basically, when I get out of this loop, I know 2 things. I know present value of the bond, because I started it with the present value of the cash flow, right? Actually, no, I have not done that yet. So I need to make a correction for that, because I started I pres with this, so I should actually start I cross as I pres times I time. If it's a 30-year bond, I time is 30. So I'm multiplying present value of the face value with 30, because I can't do that in the loop. In the loop, I'm only doing coupons. So I'm basically starting the cross product with that. So when I'm done, all I have to do is, name of this function is IMAC bond. It's the sum of the cross products divided by the present value, which was I pres. We're done. Again, I could have written this from scratch. We had a code that looks almost like what we want. That's one of the things you should get used to in coding. Use things that you have already created, okay? You don't have to rediscover America 5 times. I mean, Columbus did. In his first 3 trips, he did not get to the same place, even though he tried. They weren't that good in navigation those days. All they knew, he wanted to go west to get to India. And let's find out if this actually works. Do you have any question how I kind of modified it? Because you guys are gonna, when we're doing homework on this, you're gonna do code for cash flows that are arbitrary. And I'll kind of give you guys a hint on how to do it, but the idea is the same. So let's find out if it actually correct. So for here, let's do IMACD user defined, IMAC bond, not IMAC D. Coupon rate, yeah, in fact, it's good that it's zero coupon. We know that, we know how to check that quickly. iFace, Rata, iTime, and iFresh. Do I have any other inputs? Oh, of course, when you copy the code, you got to get rid of the reference to the previous function. In fact, if you want to change something on a code on a global scale, just pick the code, Control H, that's for global replace. That's that, not me. So anywhere I see fixed bond price, I'm gonna make that IMAC bond.